A six-figure salary used to mean you were safe. Today, it often means you're highly exposed. You bought the narrative that a professional title and a suburban zip code were the shields that would protect you from financial volatility. But today, that comfortable life is often a mathematical illusion. It is a fragile equilibrium maintained not by wealth, but by high-velocity cash flow. Behind the manicured lawns and the premium SUVs lies something few people talk about: a gilded cage. A structure of fixed costs and silent debt traps that require you to keep running just to stay in place. On paper, you are winning. If you look at raw numbers alone, the modern middle-class earner has never been more productive or more highly compensated. But numbers without context can mislead. We are living through what many analysts call a baseline shift. In 1996, a $100,000 salary placed a household near the top of the income distribution. Today, after decades of localized inflation and rising professional living costs, that same six-figure income often provides the psychological breathing room that far lower incomes once did. This isn't just about milk or gas prices. It's about the new overhead required just to live a middle-class life. To work the high-paying job, you often must live in the high-cost hub. To live in the hub, you pay the housing safety premium. To maintain professional credibility, you participate, often unconsciously, in lifestyle parity. The modern middle class didn't suddenly become irresponsible with money. The floor simply rose faster than most people realized. When the entry-level version of a stable life costs $80,000 a year in many major metros, a six-figure salary stops behaving like surplus. It starts behaving like survival margin. We are earning more than previous generations ever imagined, while gripping our status with increasingly tight margins. The greatest threat to your financial stability isn't necessarily what you spend. It's how much of that spending is automatic and unchangeable. True wealth is liquid. It is optionality. It is the ability to pivot when conditions change. But modern middle-class wealth is increasingly calcified. It is locked inside home equity that requires new debt to access, retirement accounts with early withdrawal penalties, and most dangerously, a lifestyle composed of high fixed monthly obligations. We call these the golden handcuffs. Every month, often before you even wake up on the first, your income is already spoken for. The mortgage, tiered insurance premiums, private childcare, car notes, subscription living, from software to security systems. From the outside, this looks like a well-oiled machine. Structurally, it behaves more like a break-even engine. Because when fixed costs rise too close to take-home pay, something subtle but dangerous happens. You lose the power of no. You can't easily leave a toxic job. You can't comfortably pause to res-kill. You can't absorb income volatility. At that point, income stops feeling like freedom. It starts behaving like oxygen. And in an environment where inflation quietly thins that oxygen, pressure builds faster than most households expect. There is a dangerous irony in modern career advice. The more specialized you become, the more exposed you may be. The middle class has been trained to pursue niche authority. Senior product manager, specialized radiologist, logistics consultant, highly skilled, highly compensated. But specialization can narrow your exit paths. In an AI-accelerating economy, roles rarely vanish overnight. They compress. A team of 10 becomes a team of 3, supported by automation and large language models. Middle management layers are often the first to be audited when companies optimize costs. At the same time, the traditional corporate safety net has quietly thinned. Health plans now carry higher deductibles. Total rewards packages lean more heavily on volatile equity. Job tenure has shortened across multiple industries. Many professionals today stand on a single, high-altitude income pillar. If that pillar cracks, the landing can be abrupt. You may earn too much to qualify for assistance programs, but hold too little liquid cash to self-insure against disruption. This is the modern vulnerability gap. Too well paid to be supported. Too illiquid to be truly secure. What makes this new reality particularly dangerous isn't just the possibility of financial stress. It's the speed at which it can unfold. The unwind of a middle-class household often follows a cold, predictable trajectory. Month 1, the disruption. A job loss. A medical event. A legal expense. The household leans on its primary buffer, the checking account. But when fixed costs are high, that buffer can drain faster than expected. Month 2, the credit phase. To maintain stability, expenses begin migrating onto revolving credit. The pain of paying is deferred. But in today's rate environment, high-interest consumer credit can accelerate financial pressure quickly. Month 3, forced liquidity. Assets begin selling, often at unfavorable timing. Retirement accounts get tapped. Home equity proves harder to access than expected. From the outside, everything may still appear stable. The car is still in the driveway. The lights are still on. But on the balance sheet, the margin has quietly disappeared. This is what some analysts call invisible financial stress. The safety net didn't vanish overnight. It slowly revealed itself to be thinner than expected. The goal of this audit is not panic. Panic is the enemy of strategy. The goal is recalibration. If the traditional middle-class path now carries more volatility than previous generations expected, the response is not fear. It is structural awareness. The next decade will likely reward households that shift from appearance-based stability to structural resilience. Security may increasingly depend not just on income size, but on 3 quieter metrics: your burn rate, your liquidity buffer, your adaptability. 1. De-risk fixed overhead. If your lifestyle requires 90% of your income just to function, the margin for error becomes extremely thin. True stability often begins when a household can function on far less than it earns. 2. Build aggressive liquidity. Equity and retirement accounts have their place. But liquidity buys time, and time buys options. Many risk analysts recommend households maintain several months of true cash reserves capable of covering essential expenses. 3. Diversify economic exposure. Your employer is not your protector. They are one revenue source. Households that build multiple skill pathways and income options often recover faster from disruption than those dependent on a single stream. The households that navigate this new environment most effectively will not necessarily be the ones that earn the most. They will be the ones that maintain the most flexibility. Because in the modern economy, stability doesn't come from looking successful. It increasingly comes from the power to walk away, the cash to stay afloat, and the resilience to rebuild when conditions shift. The old safety net is changing. It may be time to build your own.